We might have just gotten our first real leaks for Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, giving us new information like the game including armored Pokemon and what the legendaries are going to be. Now, I'm usually very skeptical of Pokemon leaks, especially when they come from 4chan, which is why I don't really post many leaks on this channel. However, this one I feel like has a pretty decent chance of being real because some of the stuff that they posted about actually came true. But there is a chance that the leaker could have just gotten lucky with the guesses and the rest of the information could be false, so take it all with a grain of salt. On Wednesday, February 20th, 2019, 7 days before Pokemon Sword and Shield were announced, somebody posted on 4chan saying, "Screen cap this, legit. This is it. Believe it now or later." From there, they told us a few details about the leaked Pokemon games, Pokemon Sword and Shield. So first off, they gave us the title, Pokemon Sword and Shield, again before we knew what it was, so that information was correct. They said the region was going to be based off of Great Britain, which we now know, due to the trailer, that's also correct. After telling us about the region, the leak also told us the legendary Pokemon are going to be a metal snake and a wooden horse. The game is also supposed to feature armored evolutions, which could be like Generation 6's Mega Evolutions or Generation 7's Z-moves. It seems like every new generation now has to introduce some new mechanic, and armored evolutions could be it. In addition to telling us about armored evolutions, they also gave us a few Pokemon that would be getting armored evolutions, including Charizard, which I have in the thumbnail and on the screen right now. Honestly, it would look really cool. An armored Mewtwo, an armored Flygon, and an armored Zeraora. So those are definitely 4 interesting Pokemon to get armored evolutions. Armored Charizard, like I said, would look awesome. Mewtwo doesn't need anything else, to be quite honest, but you can't go wrong with an armored Mewtwo. But armored Flygon is where I start to believe this leak even more. So if we go back to the trailer for Pokemon Sword and Shield, you'll notice the trailer actually features the Pokemon Flygon. This stood out to me initially when I first watched the trailer, because normally Flygon is not a Pokemon the Pokemon Company usually shows off. It's usually a later game Pokemon that you find out about on your own. However, the trailer makes this Pokemon kind of prominent. In addition, we know Flygon was supposed to get a Mega Evolution back in Generation 6, but didn't because the creators kind of had like a little creator's block, and they couldn't really come up with a good design for Flygon. This could be a way to give something to Flygon in Generation 8, so I'm definitely thinking this is a good possibility, or even 100% legit that armored evolutions are coming to Generation 8. Then finally, the last thing this leak told us is that Meltan ties into armored evolution and legendary Pokemon lore. I can honestly see Meltan and Melmetal tying in with Armored Evolution. You know, Meltan is kind of a flexible little Pokemon and very mysterious. We don't know much about it, so I could definitely see it being a big part of Generation 8 and creating armor. And the legendary Pokemon lore, that comment makes a lot of sense when you look at the trailer again. In the trailer, we see a scene where there's a girl staring out into the distance, and you see a field with Pokemon kind of drawn into grass. Now, there's one really big Pokemon, and there's a few smaller Pokemon surrounding it, and those Pokemon, all of them, have an interesting resemblance to the Pokemon Meltan. They don't look exactly like Meltan, but they look similar enough where it's not too much of a stretch to put them together. And I could definitely see Meltan having a big part in Generation 8 because it doesn't really have a story as of right now. Something kind of similar happened with Generation 6 and Generation 7, where Zygarde was introduced in X and Y, but finally got more of a story in Sun and Moon. Maybe Meltan, you know, was introduced in Let's Go, and we'll get more of a story in Sword and Shield. So in total, this leak gave us 2 pieces of information that are now confirmed to be true, and it gave us this information before we knew about it, and 4 pieces of information that we don't know about yet, but could be true, and some parts of the trailer actually supports the leak. The titles of the Pokemon games usually have something to do with the gameplay of the game. X and Y kind of refers to the legendary Pokemon Xerneas, and I want to say Yveltal, not sure how to pronounce that one, sorry if I butchered it. Generation 7, Sun and Moon, we obviously know that Solgaleo and Lunala are based off of the Sun and Moon, so that's a given right there. So with Generation 8, we know the names are Sword and Shield. So how can Sword and Shield fit into the gameplay? With armored evolutions, because you hold the armor, which is your shield, and you use it to attack, which is your sword. So honestly, I think this could be a legitimate leak. We don't know yet. We don't know, and we're gonna have to wait for some more information from Nintendo to know about this for real. But again, the fact that this information came out before the game was actually announced, and it's actually starting to get confirmed that it's true, makes me have high hopes for this information. Armored Pokemon would be super cool, and I'd love to know what you guys think about the information in this leak. Comment below and tell me exactly what Pokemon you think should get an Armored evolution, and my friends, I'll be seeing you in the next Pokemon video.